It's March, which means we're approaching opening day, which means it's time for my breakout and breakdown picks. Last year, I crushed it with Hunter Green, but let's not talk about Kyle Hendricks. Here's the catcher pick. On the surface, Hunter Goodman's MLB career thus far has been disastrous, with a WRC plus of 59 and negative 1.5 FWAR. But it's far too early to give up on him. Even though he struggled last year, I think we saw a much more complete hitter than we did in 2023. He chases a ton, and he'll strike out a good amount, but he has big power. Even in his rough 2024, he hit 13 home runs in just 70 games, after just 1 in 23 games in his rookie year. That's a high 20 home run pace over a full season. Goodman made that improvement by showing that he is capable of hitting breaking pitches. He whiffed at 48% of the sliders he swung at in 2023. Last year, 31%. Progress. His slugging percentage against the slider went from 133 to 512. I also think that Goodman began to figure things out late in 2024. After being recalled to the Rockies in September, his whiff rate dropped from 32% to 29%. His average exit velocity jumped from 88 miles per hour to 90, and his barrel rate increased from 13% to 16%. September Goodman was an above-average hitter on just a 212 BABIP in Coors. His only real competition for the catcher spot in Colorado is Jacob Stallings, unless we see Drew Romo come up. But I think Goodman takes the catcher spot and keeps it. I expect him to break out in 2025 with big power. The White Sox may be a mess, but I think this will be a bright spot for them. Andrew Benintendi got off to a brutal start last year, but after the All-Star break, he seemed to come back with a new approach. Benintendi has always been a true contact hitter, but towards the back half of 2024, he learned to pull fly balls. The end result was a slugging of over 500 in the second half, and he had a 133 WRC plus on a very Benintendi-esque 276 BABIP. On top of that, he had respectable exit velocities and barrel rates during that stretch, and still a low strikeout rate, despite it naturally increasing a little bit. This type of player transformation already exists in today's MLB. A player who was once entirely a contact hitter until that stopped working, and then they learned to pull fly balls and hit for more power instead. Jose Altuve did this, and I'd say it worked out pretty well for him. I don't expect Benintendi to do it well as Altuve did, but he'll be a good hitter this year, and I like him for 2025. I can't believe that I even have the opportunity to pick Nolan Jones as a hitter that I like. In 2023, he had the entire baseball world on watch, as he slugged 20 home runs in 106 games, all while getting on base nearly 40% of the time. But if I said he struggled last year, that'd be generous. He got sent down to AAA Albuquerque for a good chunk of the season, and he was worth negative 0.8 Fangraphs WAR. But the tools that allowed him to be a 4-WAR player in 2023 were still there. He actually saw an increase in hard hit rate and contact rate, but his barrel rate was more than cut in half. The problem was a big increase in ground ball rate and a subsequent decrease in fly ball rate. I think a lot of that was due to him going through back and knee injuries last year. Jones still has that power, his great eye, and his big arm in the outfield. And while he might not have a current outfield spot under grabs, I expect him to eventually win one over Will Brennan or Lane Thomas. Nolan Jones' 2023 was anything but a fluke, and he will prove that in 2025. Here's my annual tradition of picking a Mariner for each section. Last year, let's not talk about Ty France. This year, it's Ryan Bliss season. He hit pretty well in AAA Tacoma last season, but I'm more impressed with what we saw in his limited big league cup of coffee. His biggest strength is his plate discipline. Bliss swung at 8% less pitches outside of the zone and 10% more pitches inside the zone than the average big league hitter. Bliss did strike out a good amount last year, but that wasn't a problem in AAA. I expect his K rate to regress to the mean next year. And Bliss hits the ball hard. His hard hit rate last year was over 46%, and his barrel rate nearly cracked double digits. He was also worth 2 outs above average last year in just 33 games. For a player that is still rookie eligible, he's an extremely well-rounded player. I expect him to get the second base job over Dylan Moore and Cole Young and take advantage of the opportunity. If you've been following me on Twitter, you were expecting this one. Spencer Torkelson's 2024 could not have gone much worse. He got sent down to AAA Toledo for much of the season and settled for just 10 home runs after hitting 31 in 2023. But I expect a major rebound for Torkelson. From when he got recalled to Detroit in mid-August, he slashed .248, .338, .444 for a .125 WRC plus over 151 plate appearances. He struck out a ton during that stretch, but also had a very high walk rate, pulled a ton of fly balls, and barreled more than most. He also made contact on 75% of his swings, including 86% of pitches in the strike zone, so I'd expect that K rate to drop quite significantly. Another reason I'm picking Torkelson is his plate discipline. He chased just 23% of pitches outside the strike zone, both during the full season and his good second half. Between the power, the serviceable contact rates, and his great eye, he'll be a good hitter this year. The Tigers aren't rebuilding anymore. They want to compete, and Torkelson will help them do that. That's it for the hitters that I like for 2025. Now on to the pitchers that I like. Hopefully I can do as well this time around as I did last year. Hayden Birdsong is one of the easiest breakout picks to make. This pick is essentially me betting on Birdsong stuff. But before I dive into why I like him for this season, I'm going to make this very clear. I'm making this pick for Birdsong as a starter. His four-seam fastball was hit hard last year, but he throws at 96 miles per hour with 10 inches of arm side run. I'd expect that hard contact to soften a bit this upcoming season. But even if his fastball is ineffective, Birdsong has a breaking and off-speed pitch repertoire that most veterans could only dream of. As last season went on, Birdsong realized that nobody could touch his curveball, so he just kept on throwing it. Hitters had just a .218 slugging percentage against it, along with an above-average swinging strike rate. He's also got a changeup that might just be his best pitch. He throws at 88 miles per hour with 37 inches of vertical drop. And if you're not an induced vertical break expert, that is basically a nerdy way of saying that thing is moving. The result? A 74% ground ball rate against. And he rounds out his arsenal with a slider that got swing strikes at a 20% clip. The primary concern is, of course, his command. He walked 13.7% of the batters he faced last year. But for a pitcher with his pitch mix, he shouldn't get hit nearly as hard as he did in 2024. Nothing about Birdsong screams 92 mile per hour average exit velocity against. Birdsong's stuff is elite, and it will make him a very good starter in 2025. Picking Joe Ryan as a pitcher that I like isn't the easiest proposition because he already had a 3.60 ERA over 135 innings last year. But bear with me here. This pick isn't me saying that Ryan will be good next year. He will be. I'm predicting that come season end, he's a Cy Young candidate. Ryan has always thrown one of the most electric four-seam fastballs in baseball, and he even added 2 ticks to it last year. But now he's figured out a breaking and off-speed mix that will make him lethal next season. He mastered his splitter last year, which had a 60% ground ball rate against and 256 xwOBA against. He has also successfully transitioned from his old gyro slider to a sweeper, which has been far more effective. Ryan has always had a good strikeout and walk rate, but the added velocity across his whole arsenal has done wonders at helping his home run problem. His home runs per 9 dropped from 1.8 in 2023 to 1.3 in 2024. That's still not great, mind you, but it's a big improvement. And it wasn't some fly ball luck. His home run to fly ball rate was right at his career norms. Joe Ryan is going to show his limitless potential with a monster 2025 season. Here is the one that I'm most confident on. Shane Baz's issue isn't necessarily the production on the field, it's staying healthy. Since debuting for the Rays in 2021, he's thrown a grand total of 120 major league innings. But injuries aren't as predictable as some fans think, ask Chris Sale. In 2024, we got our biggest sample of Baz in the bigs with his 79 innings across 14 starts. Baz throws an electric four-seam fastball, sitting at 96 miles per hour and possessing elite movement. Hitters both struggle to make contact against it and don't fare very well when they do. His slider isn't great, but his curveball is. Throwing it at 84 miles per hour with big movement, hitters are flailing at this offering. It's almost shades of Baz's ex-teammate, Tyler Glasnow, who excelled in 2024 with the Dodgers. And Baz finishes out his arsenal with an elite changeup. He threw 124 changeups last year and didn't give up a single extra base hit. The similarities between Baz and Glasnow are very clear. And while I don't expect Baz to be as productive as Glasnow, he will be a very good starting pitcher for a Rays team that really needs their rotation to be good. Here's my rookie pick for this year. Last year I did pretty well with Yuki Matsui. This year, it's Athletic starting pitching prospect Mason Barnett. It's surprisingly difficult to find Barnett on prospect lists. He is not a top 100 prospect, and he's ranked between 4th and 7th in the Athletic system. Barnett has great stuff for a pitcher that's shown as much improvement in command as he has. His four-seamer isn't amazing, but it's a good enough heater, and he's been leading on his sweeping slider more and more as he progresses through the minors. He also features a changeup that's been so good against lefties, he's now a reverse splits pitcher. And he rounds out his arsenal with a curveball that plays off of his sweeper well. He finished 2024 extremely strong. From July on, his ERA was 2.24, striking out 31% of the batters he faced in that stretch. He's also added a fifth pitch this offseason, a cutter that will be a bridge between his fastball and sweeper. His repertoire, which was once all fastball slider out of college, now consists of 5 pitches that do different things, have good movement, and he commands them pretty well. The Athletics have Springs and Severino locked into the rotation, but there are 3 spots that are all very much up for grabs, not to mention several spots in the bullpen. And with Barnett possibly starting in the rotation in AAA Reno, it might not be long at all until one of those spots is his. Whether he's a back-end starter, multi-inning piggyback guy, or even shut-down middle reliever, I like Mason Barnett for 2025. Bet you didn't see this one coming. My Mariners pitcher pick and reliever pick for 2025 is Mariners reliever Eduard Bazardo. For the majority of his career, he's always had encouraging peripherals, even though he can never find a consistent role in a bullpen. In 2024, he struck out over 30% of the batters he faced, and when they did make contact, they didn't fare very well at all, with a 56% ground ball rate and just a 4.5% barrel rate. Bazardo's signature pitch, his sweeping slider, is amazing, and he's got a great four-seamer and sinker to keep the hitter guessing. He also lowered his walk rate as 2024 went along. Seattle's bullpen really needs somebody outside of Munoz and Brash to step up, and I expect that to be Eduard Bazardo. That's the players that I like for 2025. 5 hitters and 5 pitchers. But the optimism ends here. Now, the 5 players that I dislike for 2025. Xavier Edwards had an awesome 2024 rookie year, being a big bright spot for the Marlins after posting a 128 WRC plus as a base-stealing shortstop in 70 games. But I expect a major correction with Edwards' bat. The problem is simple. His bat is as slow as glue. His average exit velocity was just 86 miles per hour. His hard hit rate was just 24%, and his barrel rate was just 2%. He had the lowest fast swing rate out of any hitter in the league last year. The way to get around having such slow bat speed is either to pull a ton of fly balls for home runs or hit a ton of line drives. Edwards doesn't do either. He's hit 1 home run in his first 100 major league games, and his ground ball rate was over 50%. Edwards won't be able to hold up last year's .398 BABIP. As a baseball fan that likes to see young talent flourish, I'll be rooting him on. But as a baseball observer, I doubt that he lives up to his rookie year. Disliking Luis Robert isn't the easiest thing because he already had a very bad 2024. But the general consensus is that he will bounce back. After all, in 2023, he finished 12th in AL MVP voting, had a 128 WRC+, and was worth 5 FWAR. Most baseball fans seem to think that's his talent level, even with his poor showing this past season. But I'm not seeing a major turnaround, unfortunately. Even as a big strikeouts don't matter person, over the last few years, his contact rates have absolutely plummeted from a 19% K rate in 2022 to 29% in 2023 to 33% in 2024. He's always had very bad plate discipline as well. His chase rate consistently ranks near the bottom of the league. He needs to absolutely crush the ball to be good, and that didn't happen in 2024. His exit velocities and barrel rates were good, but not elite. And that all adds up to a really bad result. His expected WOBA was 277. His pull rate also went from well above average to well below average. If he bounces back, I will be pleasantly surprised, but I think he'll be a league average hitter at best. From one Chicago team to the other, I have my doubts on Cubs starting pitcher Shota Imanaga. He had a wonderful rookie season, finishing top 5 in both Cy Young and Rookie of the Year voting. He had a great season largely due to his fastball that has very impressive vertical break numbers, similar to Bryce Miller and Spencer Strider. But unlike Miller and Strider, Imanaga's lags seriously behind the league average velocity, sitting at just 92 miles per hour. Its 9.7% swinging strike rate is perfectly average, which isn't great news for a pitcher that threw it 52% of the time last year. It was an effective fastball last year because hitters didn't fare very well when they put the ball in play, but that was more due to the 229 BABIP against the four-seamer. Imanaga's splitter is elite, and it will keep him productive, but he doesn't have another pitch to go to if his fastball takes a step back. His sweeper and curveball didn't get the best results. Imanaga will be solid for Chicago, but I doubt that he reaches his rookie year heights. This one hurts, but I don't like Luis Castillo for the upcoming season. My problem with Castillo is his repertoire. He throws one of the best four-seam fastballs in baseball, largely thanks to how well he locates it. But it's lost notable velocity for the second year in a row. It's still effective for now, thanks to the aforementioned command, but what isn't effective is his sinker. It pitched well in 2023 with very bad underlying numbers. This year, the actual results match the expected ones. Batters had a 372 WOBA off of it and hardly whiffed at all. And don't even get me started on his changeup. It legitimately might be the worst changeup in the game. My fear with Castillo particularly comes against left-handed hitters. He used to rely on his changeup to get lefties out, but now that has stopped working, he's tried to throw his fastball more against them. It hasn't worked. Thanks to his sidearming release point, lefties see this pitch very well and hit it hard. They almost slugged 500 off of it last year. As a whole, left-handed hitters had a 275, 336, 510 slash line against Castillo last year, which is frightening. Any regression against righties, particularly with his fastball or his gyro slider, and it's really bad news. Castillo will prove me wrong if he's an above-average run preventer. I'm trying something here. This may backfire horribly, but out of all of the top-tier closers, Ryan Helsley is the one that I can doubt the most. You may be thinking I'm out of my mind, and maybe I am. The last 3 seasons, his ERAs have been 1.25, 2.45, and 2.04. But I think this season will be a down year for him. His strikeout rate is still good, but it's been trending downward at an alarming rate. It's gone from 40% in 2022 to 36% in 2023, down to 29% in 2024. He's also starting to lose the dominance of his four-seam fastball. He still throws it really, really hard, but its vertical rise is starting to deteriorate. Hitters didn't fare all that bad against him in 2024, with an average exit velocity of over 92 miles per hour and a 328 xwOBA. Helsley has also had some big fly ball luck over the last 2 seasons as well. His home run to fly ball rates have been 3.2% and 5%. If that goes up to his career norm of 10%, that's still a double in home run rate. His ERA last year was the aforementioned 2.04, but his xFIP was 3.35. Ryan Helsley's slider is still Ryan Helsley's slider, and it will keep him productive. But even though he led baseball in saves last year, out of all of the elite closers, Helsley is the one to be the most wary of. Those are my breakout and breakdown picks for 2025. Last year I finished with an overall score of +3. Let's see if I can do better this year.